Hello and welcome. My name is Chris. I am the Autoblock Assassin, otherwise known as Obi-Wan Assassin, and I'm really happy to be here today. So if you're watching me on YouTube, thank you for watching. I'd love a like and a subscribe. If you're watching me on TradingView, welcome. This is my new home, where we talk all things trading, supply and demand, and today we're going to be doing something new. So I'm here today to talk about the top 5 mistakes that I've made as a trader when I was first starting. So this is for anybody who is new to trading, anybody who's been doing this for a little while and is wondering why they're not making profits. The top 5 things that I wish that I knew, the top 5 mistakes that I made when I was a new trader. If you have any questions along the way, guys, feel free to drop them in the comments. I will see them. If you're watching on Twitch, I'll see them there too. We're multi-streaming here to TradingView, to Twitch, and to YouTube. So I'll see all your questions. Hey there, X-Taping, how you doing? Welcome. So, top 5 mistakes new traders make. And I'll show you some examples along the way. If you are guilty of any of these mistakes, don't worry, I was too. We're all going to start somewhere. Alright, and I'll give you a remedy for how to solve a lot of these as we go too. So, number 1 mistake, well, not number 1, but one of the top 5 mistakes we all make when we are starting is we have no risk management. So if you're just starting to trade now, and you're jumping in to your trades and you're just going in blind. We all started somewhere, but that is not the way to trade. We need to manage our risks, okay? And how we do that is we use a system. We use a risk management system. And I'll show you mine. You don't have to use this one. You can make your own. There are many out there available, but I will show you what I do, okay? Let me share my screen. All right, so this is my risk management system. It's a spreadsheet that I use. And the way this works is I set my risk. So for me, my risk is right here. For me, I like to risk no more than 3% of my entire account on one single trade. If you're risking more than that, I think you're asking for trouble. Even risking 5%, you're asking for trouble. I've blown a couple of accounts just by risking 5%. And last time I streamed, and the reason for this stream is we had a particular gentleman who was in a trade, and he was doing a huge leveraged trade, and I assume it was taking up the bulk of his account. And honestly, guys, that's how I lost accounts. I lost thousands of dollars doing that. Okay, if you're risking more than say 2 or 3% of your entire account on one single trade, I mean, you're asking for trouble. Now you may be lucky. All right, you may be lucky, and you may have a really great trade your first 1 or 2 times. Perhaps it was one of these riskier trades where you gambled away 50% of your entire account. We all make mistakes. We all start somewhere. But while you may have 1 or 2 lucky wins and be thinking this is an easy way to make money, I don't know why anybody doesn't just trade. Well, it's only going to take 1 or 2 failed trades to lose your entire account. Okay? So the way that we do this is we look in our charts, right, and we find trades that we might want to take. Here is a great example of a good trade. And the way that I would risk manage this is setting your stop loss to a point where if you're wrong, the trade's wrong. If the trade's wrong, you're wrong. And it means you're wrong in the way that you thought the market was going to go. Okay? And this entire stop loss here needs to be no greater than 2 or 3% of my account. How do we do that? Well, using our tools here, we can say, I want to risk no more than 3% here. Okay, and this was a trade I lost. If I was risking more than 3%, I would have lost a lot more money. I want to risk no more than 3%, and using a spreadsheet, it will tell me exactly how much money to put on my trade while keeping my stop loss at a minimum. Now I've got trades waiting to happen in the system here. I've got a Bitcoin long that I want to make, and if I look at my trading stop loss, you can see here that my stop loss here is set so that I'll lose no more than 33%, which is 3% of my account size. So that is how we manage risk. And if you're not managing your risk, if you're not setting your stop losses before you start your trade, you're asking for trouble. All right, that's step number one. The single most important thing about trading. Okay, that's the single most important thing. Thing is, like, even people like me, who've been doing this for a while, we know that the way that these candles move is completely random. We can't predict where they're going to move. And a lot of people think that master traders must have some sort of intuition, some kind of foresight to know where the candles are going to go. We don't know. It's all random. But we're able to look at places on the charts, candle patterns that occur, that have a higher chance of having a successful trade. Having said that, a lot of our trades will fail. But because we have our risk management set in, we will never lose our entire account. We'll never lose it all. I could lose 20 trades in a row, but because I'm only risking a percentage of my trade each time, I will never blow my account. Ever. Alright, so rule number one. Sorry, not rule number one. Top one mistake traders make. No risk management, okay? Number two, and I saw this the other day in my stream when someone was in a live trade. Mistake number two. They have way too much leverage. Way too much leverage. What is leverage? If you look inside of Bybit, which is where I do most of my trading, leverage is this little thing up here where you can select a multiplier for your margin. So what is this exactly? All right, this serves two purposes. Purpose number one, it makes it easier for traders like myself to take your money. Okay, that's its purpose. It makes it easier for seasoned traders to take the money of new traders. Don't fall for this mistake, okay? Second reason that the actual reason why we have leverage trading, it reduces the risk for traders like myself. People who trade all the time, we are trading highly volatile securities here, or coins, or whatever we're trading. They're highly volatile. And to minimize our personal risk, we can leverage trades that we can take out large positions without buying large amounts of Bitcoin or whatever you're trading. Okay, so that's what it's there for. It's for risk reduction for people who trade a lot. Okay, it's not here to be a gambling multiplier for you to go 100x on an ETH short because you saw a YouTuber do it. And when you are doing a leveraged trade, I highly recommend you select isolated for these. What this means, cross and isolated, and what margins mean. Okay, so if we take, for example, my Bitcoin long that I have in the system here, all right, we have a stop loss here and a take profit. Now, if I increase my margin too high, and the cost of my trade is going to be bigger than this $33, well, my trade will liquidate as soon as it hits that cost. If this makes sense. Let's put one on. So let's do a Bitcoin, and let's increase. I don't want to increase my margin on Bitcoin because that may screw up my current trade. If I look at Sol, and we do an order buy, let's do 50 sols. We'll do take a profit of, let me think. Do a short, but and this isn't a valid trade. I just want to show the leverage. 20.865. We do a take profit, 22.045. Okay, on this trade, if I lose, my loss will be $29. That's fine, but my order is 50. Now, if my loss is larger than my where's my cost? Okay, cost here. Let's open this short. I don't really want to open the short because that'll put it in the system. Oops. Go away. Okay. If I increase my margin to say 50, increase my leverage to 50. You can see here the warning that pops up. there is a risk of immediate liquidation. Okay? If the cost is less, well, that screwed it up. If the cost that comes up here is less than your risk in your stop loss here, as soon as you hit the lowest one, as soon as you hit that cost, your order will liquidate. No matter what your stop loss was supposed to be, the order will liquidate. Okay? We don't want to set our leverage too high. There is no reason why you can't make decent money on a 10 times leverage. You don't need to be setting 50s or 100s. It's not about the leverage that you're using, it's about the trades that you are making that's going to make you the right amount of profit, okay? So don't trade with too much leverage. Use leverage as a tool to get position size that you want. Can't see the side of my screen? Alright, that always happens to me. My monitor's too big for this. There you go, how's that? That may help. Okay, so when your cost here, if you can see that now, if your cost here is lower than your stop loss, well then when you reach that lower number, when the price comes down, it's gonna exit that order, it's gonna liquidate that order before you even hit your stop loss, and you're gonna lose your money straight up. You're gonna lose your whole trade, it's gonna be gone. So we always want to make sure that we're doing isolated. Somewhere between 10 and 20 is a good leverage to be using for a newcomer. Okay, if you're able to begin these trades up in the big 25 to 50 leverages, you need to be asking yourself, is this a risky trade? You don't want to be taking too big of risks, okay? That's just crazy. So don't make your leverage too high. The other day we had someone on the stream while I was streaming, and he had a leverage of $125. Sorry, 125x on an ETH short. 125. On those larger coins like your ETH and your Bitcoin, the leverage can go up to ridiculous amounts. And if you're gambling with these leverages, you're just gambling with your money. You're putting your trade up for a seasoned trader to take. That's all it comes down to. Okay, number three of the top mistakes new traders make is you're not trading with a system. Okay, now I use supply and demand. That's my system. Supply and demand with smart money concepts. It's just a system, guys. It doesn't matter what system you use. Some traders like to trade with indicators. Some traders like to trade with the trend. Some people are swing traders. There's all types of trading styles, and each of those trading styles is valid. The idea of a trading system is to give you, the trader, an edge, okay? And if you know that system inside and out, if the system works for you, if you love trading in that system, stick with that system, okay? There's a great book out there. Oh, what was that book that I was reading? I think it was called Trading with the Edge, something like that. I'll have to look it up so I can tell you guys in the stream to read it. But once you have your system in place and you've practiced this system and you know the system and you know the rules to the system for you and it's working for you, then it becomes a game of getting as many trades as you can in that meet all your requirements, and over a long period of time you make your profit. Trading is not a quick win. Okay, we are not here to make millions of dollars straight up. We are here to make lots of money over a long period of time, which requires winning many trades. And to win many trades, you need a system. And honestly, there is not one system that's better than the other. I've seen plenty of successful traders who use 2 or 3 different indicators as their style. I know one successful trader who I really looked up to when I first started trading, who was using the Ichimoku Cloud, which I can show you here. It was a great system that I enjoyed learning when I was a young trader. Young. When I wasn't young. I don't think I've got it here. Let's have a look. Ichimoku Cloud. Ichimoku Cloud, that's what it was. So you can learn how to use this system. To me, to a lot of people, it just looks like a bunch of lines, but there's many tutorials out there. That's the one, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. A fantastic book. Fantastic book. You can see here, it looks to most people like a bunch of squiggles. But when you do the tutorials and you learn to read what this is telling you, and you learn to make the trades that fulfill the requirements of this trading strategy, you probably have more wins than you have losses. That's the goal of a trading strategy. So while I love supply and demand, let me turn this off now. I don't like indicators. While I love supply and demand, if you've got a trading style already, stick to it. Learn it inside and out and practice. You don't have to practice with real money. You can practice your trading with just using paper trades on TradingView. There's no reason why you can't do that for a while. Once you feel more confident, and you're doing your risk management properly, even just doing paper trades, then it's time to move to real trades. Okay? Now, I showed you the Ichimoku Cloud. It's great. I did that for a while. But for me, the reason why I chose supply and demand was because it was far easier for me to understand. It was easier for me to take action, and it was in my view, way more interesting. And that's why I chose supply and demand with smart money concepts. It just made sense to me. So if your trading style that you like makes sense to you, stick with it. Okay? But you need to have a trading system. So to recap, there's 3 so far. You need risk management. Be careful with using too much leverage, and trade with the system. All right? And number 4 are the top 5 mistakes that new traders make. Chasing losses. Oh man, we've all been here, right? So chasing losses is when you've had a trade that you were certain it was going to win, and it didn't win, and you see the candle just going up. Let me just change my screen here. You see that candle just moving all the way up or down. If you've had a short, it's come in, it's taken your stop, and you've lost your trade out, and all of a sudden the candle starts going all the way down again. And so your first instinct is to jump back in, try and make back that money that you've lost. And it's a huge mistake, and it's a very, very hard mistake it's a hard habit to break, right? I've been there, we've all been there. One of the biggest things in trading is taking a loss. Look, if you're in this business, you're going to make wins, and you're going to make losses. If you're not tracking your wins, or using some sort of a spreadsheet, like this, then you don't know what your win rate is. Like right now, 5 wins, 5 losses, I've got a 50% win rate. I'm happy with that. That's fantastic. If you don't know your win rate, you're asking for trouble. You got to treat this like a business. And if you've lost your trade, you have to learn how to take that loss and get right back at the batting thing and swing a hit, or swing your bat and hit another ball. Not in the same trade. Step back, take a few moments, find a new trade setup that you like, that ticks all your boxes and satisfies all your rules, and move from there. But do not chase your losses, and do not revenge trade. It is the worst habit and the easiest way to lose your entire account. Okay? And then the fifth biggest mistake, and I still get this is still something that I'm struggling with, is the fear of missing out. What is the fear of missing out? It's when you've seen people take a trade, and maybe a trade that you saw on TradingView, and it ticked all your boxes, it satisfied all your rules, but you weren't awake at the time of the trade, and it didn't get triggered in. But your mates got it, and everyone you know got it. People you watch on YouTube in this trade, and the candle's coming down or up if it's a long, and you're missing out, and you're trying to jump in on this trade. Trying to jump in is a big mistake. Okay, you absolutely do not want to jump in on a trade that you haven't done your TA on. Okay, and you need to fight this feeling of this fear of missing out, because the thing is, there's always setups and there's always opportunities, and all you have to do is sit back and wait for new structure to form on those charts so you can take those trades that are coming up. And so those guys are my 5 top mistakes that new traders make. And I was inspired to do this list because the last time I was streaming, we had a new trader come on, listen into the stream, and he was making, I think, pretty much all of those 5 mistakes live while I was streaming. It was quite funny. Well, not funny for him, but quite funny for me. So I wanted to make this so that no one else falls for these mistakes. Now, the thing that I wish that I knew, this wasn't a mistake, but I wish that I knew to do this, is if you are a new trader and you're just getting into this, you need a community behind you. Now, TradingView is a great community. It's fantastic, but you need a community. So if you've got a YouTuber that you like, or a TradingView streamer that you like, and you follow them, join their community, join their Discord, get in and talk to people, because it can be a lonely journey for some of us traders. Most of the people in our lives are not going to want to watch or look at our charts and hear about our trading escapades. Most people don't care. Most people think it's risky gambling, or it's just not their thing. So it's great to have a community of people that love charts, that love to do this, and love to listen to your ideas, and that you can learn off. So find a mentor, find a coach, and find a community. Right? That's my biggest tip to any of you who are new and starting out. Find a community that you can join, and have a lot of fun with this. This is fun, but it doesn't need to be risky for you when you're just starting out. You don't need to put money into this. You can just do paper trades in a community until you're confident, until you know what you're doing. Alright guys, those are my 5 rules. Well, not 5 rules, those are my top 5 mistakes new traders make. I hope you like them. Now that we've gone over them, let me look at some charts. Yeah, you want to look at some charts? You want to see what things have moved? How things have gone? I've had a pretty good week actually. I've done well this week. I'm happy. My win rate is up. My capital is moving up. I had a couple of big wins over the past 7 days. Had a loss last night. I had an ETH short. I was thinking that ETH was definitely going to fall. It didn't. Let's take a look at that actually. Give me 1 second. Let me get my screen sorted out. ETH. Alright, let's change my screen. I need to fix that in OBS actually, the way that my screen works. So I was in an ETH short here. I took profits down here, which was fantastic. But I felt like ETH was definitely going to go further down. And as the price came back up, well, I entered my short again from here. Didn't feel it. Didn't feel this short at all. The price structure was moving in around here, and I got out. I got out right about here, losing a small amount of money, but I didn't lose the entire stop loss, so I was quite happy there. ETH didn't do what I thought it was going to do. Now, this isn't a tip that I included today, but definitely something worth thinking about if you are a new trader, is quite often when we're wrong, we blame the market. Right? Well, the market screwed up. How did the market do this to me? The market took my stop loss. No, it just went the wrong way. You were wrong. It's okay. These happen all the time. My TA I felt was pretty good. I felt like we were going to go lower. I felt like this was definitely a point of resistance. Market disagreed. Market took my stop loss. It's cool. This is the reason why we have trade management. Okay, it's the reason why we do that. And if you, sorry, not trade management, it's the reason why we have risk management. And if your risk management is on point, you're not going to be too upset when you make one mistake. Char trader, you got wicked out on your ETH trade last night. Yeah, similar to me, I think. You're looking at a re-entry at 1577. Look, I'm not sure if I want to take any more high impact news, shift the structure. It certainly did. It certainly did. And I knew that was a risk too. Thanks, Ken. Yeah, because Ken, you mentioned in our Discord the other day that news was coming out. And it did. It moved that structure down. I should have taken profits. I got greedy. But no, I felt like ETH was going down. And it did for a little while, and then it's come up. Look, to me, this structure looks a little bullish. I'm not sure whether I want to be entering in another short right now. It looks bullish to me. We have broken the highs down here, and I think we could see the price come. If I delete my trades, I feel like we could see the price, where's my square, come down to here, maybe. Thing is, for me too, at the 4-hour chart level here, this order block has already been well and truly mitigated, so it's not exactly the best point of entry. Because the wick of the next candle came down and took all of that liquidity out, the fair value gap for me has been taken, even from here. Same here again, the liquidity's already been taken from there. So, I'm not willing to go long just yet, and I'm not quite willing to go short. I'm just going to sit and see where the market's taking me. I've got orders here, in this area here, and I've got orders down here. Well, I've got ideas here. Where are my orders? Bitcoin and ETH, I think I've got orders at the bottom of both. That's right, I've got my Bitcoin order here, just in case the structure comes down while I'm not here and not at my desk, just in case. Doesn't mean that's the only trade that I'm going to take, but they're the only orders that I've left in the system. Would I take a short from here to here? I mean, there is an idea that you could definitely short from this point here, like I did on ETH, down to there, but you have to keep in mind, especially for ETH2, when we're shorting from these levels here, we're sitting at 50% between the top and the bottom of the structure. Take our ruler, from the top and the bottom of the structure. You know what, on ETH, we're not 50% yet. I was wrong. I thought we were 50%. Actually, that's a pretty good place for a short on ETH, now that I'm looking at it. On Bitcoin, if we take a ruler from the top to the bottom. Alright, I was very wrong. This is why it's important to do your measurements. We're still pretty much in prime spots for shorts, as long as we're pretty confident the price structure isn't going up again. And that's the other thing too. If this is a lower high that we're experiencing right now, this could be a good point to take a long. But personally, I'm going to wait for that price structure to show me a little bit more. I know a lot of people are still very bearish, but for ETH, we've had new highs broken. And looking at this TA that we've just done this morning, yeah, we are definitely sitting in the top of the structure, meaning these prices are premium. These prices down here are a discount. Taking a long from this premium price isn't necessarily something that I would want to do. I'd want to get a nice discount. There's an old OB to the left of the chart that hasn't been retested. Are we talking ETH? We're talking Bitcoin. This one right here, we're talking on Bitcoin. I'm waiting for that to get retested for sure. This is the area here that I'm most keen on for doing a long on Bitcoin. I'm hoping the price breaks through this point here. Because the only thing holding the price up here is the previous highs. These previous highs that we have here, it's the only structure that I can see holding Bitcoin there. We have had similar highs over here, but they don't really match up that well. So that's the only bit that I can see holding the price up. I have a feeling we're going to break through it. But for now, I'm not willing to be putting shorts on just yet. Personally, I'm going to wait for more structure to form. Alright, so for ETH and Bitcoin, I'm waiting for more structure. Because while I'm very bearish, we have had this massive candle come up here and it's broken free. And if we do a break from structure right here, we can see that the order blocks down here would be where you might be looking to take a long, but I wouldn't be doing that for me personally because these have all been mitigated already. And candles have come down and they haven't had a huge reaction off these. So I'm a little bit wary. I'm just going to wait for more structure to form so I can form a better opinion. Maybe wait for a new order block in this new structure. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I'm going to wait and see. It is perfectly okay for you to not be sure yourself as well. If you look at, where are we? Are you guys checked out the DXY lately? We're just ranging in the DXY. So for those who are new, and you're wondering what the hell this DXY is, it is the US dollar currency index, and it is what we use as a kind of finger in the air to tell us roughly what's kind of happening in crypto in terms of money coming in and money coming out. When the price of the DXY goes down, well, the Bitcoin price goes up. And when the price of this goes up, the Bitcoin price comes down. That makes sense? Perfect sense, right? So we can use rough analysis on this to figure out what we think is going to happen. And you can see here that I identified this key area here. This key area of demand that was probably going to have a bit of a bounce up. And it did. So we can make some assumptions here. It doesn't help you necessarily in your day-to-day trading if you're trying to figure out what will Bitcoin do today. The DXY won't necessarily tell you that. But you can sometimes catch the DXY having a massive drop or a massive rise. And you can quickly catch that effect on Bitcoin or ETH. It happens. We watch it all the time. It also tells us when we might have a big move. If we could see this price coming all the way down to this second point here, the second level of demand, well, I think, personally, we might come down into here. We might range in here for a little while, and I think we might shoot back up again. It's a possibility. So that's something I'm wary of. We don't want to be going on big longs if the price is going to quickly ricochet off here. So something to think about. But that may not happen for another couple of months. Okay, the DXY moves very slowly. Yeah, exactly. The DXY is BTC opposite. 94% of the time, I completely and utterly agree with that. That's why we use it. Alright, so some of the other coins that are on my radar. Some of the ones that I've been liking lately. GMT. Where are we, GMT? Now the reason why I choose these coins is I like coins that have a high level of liquidity in them. So we're looking at coins in Bybit. Where are we? Coins in Bybit in the derivatives market. I'm always doing the derivatives that have a high volume in the top 20 or so. Is what we're looking at. Top 20 crypto coins in DXY. Now, I prefer the ones over 100 million, but I also trade these ones over 20 million as well, sometimes. They tend to fluctuate. Like GMT can sometimes be the most volumed coin on the whole entire thing, other than Bitcoin and ETH. It can be the top altcoin at times. But then sometimes you can see right here, we've got a lot of new coins that are getting a lot of trading volume right now. It happens. They change up all the time. APT is one that we've had a lot of success with in the crypto, sorry, not the crypto, in the Onyx trading platform that we are in. And I'll show you why. I think there are a lot of people in our crew picked up a good long here, right? Where is it? Where is it? APT. Yeah, a lot of us managed to pick up that long. That one right there. Could have picked it up twice. Me, I was busy on other coins. I didn't pick that one up, unfortunately. I did the TA, but I was busy with other coins. And that's another mistake too that we can often make, is we can over leverage ourselves by putting too many trades on. Just because we think the entire market is going to turn, we sometimes put 4 or 5 longs on, and they'll get triggered in, but you know what? The market changes its decision, and it goes short. We lose all 5 trades in one day. It can happen. So make sure you're not over leveraging your own risk by putting too many trades on. So yeah, this is a great one. Now, this has had a similar reaction to ETH. It's funny. Look at that. The candle pattern looks exactly the same. And if you look over at Bitcoin, looks very similar too. Interesting. Very interesting. So APT, keep that one on your radar. What would I be doing? Well, looking. APT looks a bit slightly different from Bitcoin and ETH for one reason, right? Bitcoin and ETH, they're all ranging in this market. This market structure getting built in this area, but this area doesn't have any historic supply demand, so there's no structure to the left here. That's why it's really interesting. For APT, we've actually hit the market structure we were expecting to hit, which is great. So a lot of the guys in our group managed to get some really nice longs happening right on this order block right here. Now this order block has been started here. It got hit once, creating the new highs, the new even highs up here. Thing to remember with even highs, all right? It's really important to remember this. When we've had a high come up here, and a second high comes on up here, a lot of people are going short, putting their stops right above there. So there is liquidity to be taken up here the next time that APT goes long. Now from here, this particular order block, this is a 4-hour order block that has been hit once, twice, 3 times now, but the third reaction wasn't that big. So I wasn't expecting this to come out as a higher high. That's the interesting thing too. We've had a higher high here. A very slight higher high. Very, very interesting. Considering that this was the 4th time that this order block was hit, generally what we see when we have these order blocks sitting here, generally we see them react once, and the second reaction is usually even higher than the first. And then what we see is each time the candle comes down in this order block, the liquidity becomes less and less and less, and the reaction becomes smaller and smaller. But we haven't quite seen that here. The third reaction was a little bit higher than the second one. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. The candle did go a little bit deeper into the order block, so perhaps there was a large amount of orders in here that really helped this price ricochet up. What would I be thinking from here? Well, it doesn't look like this, to me, right now looking at this, it doesn't look like this is going to hold. It really doesn't. We do have a higher high formed here, so we have broken market structure, but I'm not convinced that we're not going to see the structure, come down and do this kind of thing, and then come down and retest this zone. That's one very, very big possibility. And if that does happen, I'd be thinking about taking my order here. That looks like the perfect place to take a long. However, there is, looking at the market structure down here, there is a much greater chance of a good reaction, I think, right here on APT. This is what we call a breaker block. It was a demand level that broke, a supply level that broke down from right when they launched back in October 22. We've surpassed that, so we've come right through that with a nice big candle, and this then becomes a breaker block. I don't actually think we're going to hit down there. I think we're going to hit this point here. Actually, if we break through this block, this would be where I take my long. Right here, 50% of the order block. A nice big stop. And we're going long with this one. We're going very high. Now, if I'm wrong, this will be the next point here to take a long. Right here. Those will be the two things that I'm looking at for APT. Brad, how you going, mate? Nice to see you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. So yeah, for APT now, if I'm wrong on this and we don't fall through, we'll know certainly soon. We'll know soon on APT. If the market structure is showing me bullishness here, if we get a nice big reaction that's really break structure, well, I'll be waiting for it to come back down so I can pick it up for a long. But I'm going to be waiting for that. I'm going to wait for the market to tell me. So until then, I'm going to leave that where it is. Bo Baker. Nice to you've asked me to join. Welcome to the stream. If you're a new trader and you want to see what you missed, we did top 5 mistakes new traders make at the beginning of this stream. You can watch on the replay. All the replays are saved to YouTube, by the way, guys. And if you have any questions, you can contact me, obi1assassintrader@gmail.com. Any questions at all? If you even got some coins that you want me to do TA on, let me know. Brad, you've been sitting in a pub in Lake Wanaka in New Zealand. Awesome. I think I'd like to be sitting in a pub right now. That's awesome. Hope you weren't too affected by the weather over in New Zealand lately. Yeah, I saw it was pretty bad. We had some pretty wild weather over here in Queensland, actually. Very wild weather. Alright, let's take a look at... So we looked at APT. Let's take a look at Sol, one of the other top contenders right now. Very similar market structure, only on Sol. We haven't had a higher high form. You can see here my short, oh, it just didn't get triggered in. The other day, that was a cool idea. It didn't get triggered in. I would have already taken profits, by the way. Because this structure, it's so confusing. Ah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Boo Barker. Is that how I say it? Bo Barker. Bo Baker. Bo Baker 93. Bo Baker. Now, for Sol, what do I think is going to happen? I mean, it all really depends on Bitcoin, honestly. And Bitcoin's got this bullish little run right here that I'm pretty wary of, to be honest. This could just be a bear. Sorry, a bull trap. It really could. I'm not willing to say what's going to happen on Bitcoin one way or the other right now. Market structure is confusing me right now. Sol, I say, looks a little bearish. It's just these close to even highs that we have here has left some stops on the table. Think about the even highs, guy. Yeah, we'll look at APT next, I think. Oh, we already did APT, but we'll take another look at it, just to compare if you like. So when we have even highs, think about what's happening with these even highs. Price comes up into this price point here. Everyone's on Bybit. You know, all our little trader bros are there. And they're all going short right here because the price came up here before and they think it's a good place to go short. So they go short and they leave all their stops right there. So bearing in mind that there are stops there to be taken, and if smart money wants, smart money will take. So we could see price come up to another level up here. It could retest higher prices and come back down. But also what is likely, of course, is that the price could go a bit lower, pick up all the stops down here, and go up and take all those stops above all the way to the top. We were at a key resistance line over here to the left. That's what concerns me. And we don't have very much history at this current resistance level here. I don't see anything to the left to tell me that this is a high level of resistance. Exactly. Sometimes the best thing you can do is sit on your hands and wait for market clarity. Absolutely. You do not need to be in a trade all the time, guys. And I know, trust me, I feel it. I know it's exciting to be in a trade. I know that's the time when you're either making or losing money. And I know you might be feeling like you're wasting your time when you're not in a trade, but you don't need to be in a trade all the time. You got to wait for the setup to come to you. You got to wait for that setup to come to you. So, with Sol, yeah, I'm happy to wait for this price to break back down. I don't see any reason for it to stay up here. There is no structure up here, other than this little level right here that we kind of played with a little bit at the start of this whole drop. That's the only thing that I can see holding the level up there. When I don't see market structure holding onto anything, I know that it's going to bounce back to, well, it's going to magnetize to the last level of support. And even this level of support here, it's pretty good. I like it because we've had these highs hit this line here, these highs up here. And once the market flipped over from there, this now becomes a resistance line. So I think this level is a good level to take along if we get down that far. It's got a reasonably high chance that we're going to bounce off here and go higher. So that's what I'm waiting for. Could you do a short on Sol? You possibly could. You could take a short. It would have to retest the higher prices for me to be interested in taking a short. And the only one that I can really see that I'd be interested in would be this level here, which is not too far from where we are. But having said that, I'd want to make sure if I was going to take a short here, I'd want to make sure that I was fairly confident that other coins, namely Bitcoin and ETH, we're going to go short. We're going to take a dive. And right now, I'm not so certain. So that certainly is an idea you could have, to go short right here. I'm just not certain if I want to do that right now. APT, we did this TA just a few minutes ago. This level doesn't look like it's going to hold, but we have had that high reaction, or a bigger reaction of this level than the previous reaction, which is really interesting. It's really interesting. So we have the massive reaction creating new highs. Hit it again, had a really tiny reaction, which made me think that it was just going to fall right through this level here. And it didn't do that. It reacted and had a higher reaction than before. I'm not sure what I feel about this particular run here. I don't really like it. If I was going to do anything, I'd probably do a short on APT at around this level, or preferably up higher for a much bigger discount. Thank you very much, X-Tuppen, and I appreciate your comments, mate. I really do, and I appreciate your support. And I look forward to streaming again for you, man. Thanks for watching. Now, what can we look at next? We've got FMT. Let's take a look at FMT. Oops, that's my stream. FMT. Well, this is an interesting market structure. This doesn't really look like... Oh, let's do the 4 hour. It does look exactly like ETH and Bitcoin. For FMT, it didn't quite make it to the area that I was looking to take along. I definitely could see a lot of people in our Discord could have definitely taken advantage of this. To me, this market structure on FMT is slightly different to what we see on ETH, Bitcoin, and even APT. To me, this looks, somewhat bullish. We have, I obviously chose the bottom order block here, but it was the top order block that was taken. Like, prices come in, didn't quite reach into the order block the first time price came down, but price reached into the order block and it's reacted. I think that's a very, very good reaction. What you could be looking to take here is a long at this section right there. Why do I like this section? Because this is a section that has, or it's a level that has previous market structure resistance. Okay, and it's a 4-hour order block, and it's at a slightly discounted price. So if I was going to take action on FMT, I might consider a long there. But market structure on the other coins isn't painting the same picture. So while my idea would be to go long here, I'd want to make sure I was pretty confident this was the right decision. If I see some higher breaks on Bitcoin and ETH, yeah, I'd probably consider putting this on. So you might be thinking, you know, what are you talking about, Chris? If you're new to trading and you don't know anything about supply and demand, you might be thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? Taking a long here. The price has already moved. How can you take a long here? Well, this is how order blocks work, my friends. These order blocks are levels that get retested. Now, if I'm pretty certain that the price is going to continue to make a new higher high, which there is a probability for this, if I'm pretty certain about that over the next coming hours or the next day or so, there is a high chance that the price is going to come down to this origin point, break into this order block, take some liquidity, and then bounce all the way to the top. It happens so often. It's actually a pretty good trade. I kind of like that. I'm going to keep this on my screen. I really like that, actually. Alright, so that's FMT. Taking a look through the next top coins, we've got Matic. Let's take a look at Matic. You guys got any gems that you can recommend we look at? For some reason, I can never find Matic. Here we go. Alright, yes, I was busy trading Matic this week. Let me get rid of some of this junk. And you can see here, guys, oh, I love it when this happens. I love being right. I told you guys. I told you all. This line here is going to break. This was the trend line that was forming, and I told you guys in the last video, you can go back a few streams and look for yourself. I told you guys, the liquidity was here, and the liquidity was going to be taken. What happens? Well, liquidity was taken. It became back down. I was hoping that it would go further. I was hoping that we'd see the price come down into this order block. We'll take a look at Phil, and we'll take a look at TRX. I was hoping that we'd reach this order block, but we didn't reach that order block. We reached this level right here, a previous level of support resistance, creating a new order block down here. Now we didn't reach back down into discounted prices too deeply, which is a bit of a shame. Would have been nice to. We are reacting from what I can see, from what I can make out. And you can tell how we're reacting based on the wicks. I'm looking for an order block, and I don't know if I can find one here in the previous market structure that we're hitting on. Not the 4-hour mark anyway. Unless there's something way back that I've missed. Way back in the history perhaps, but this could also be a key level. Yeah, okay, that's where it is. Key level right there. This resistance line is now flipped and it's become a resistance line coming from the top down to the bottom. Will it hold? I don't know about that. It seems to me like this is the order block that it's using. It's quite a large block there. This whole entire market structure was within that 4-hour order block. It was a huge order block. And okay, and we're simply reacting into that. Fair enough. What do I think could happen from here? We could see higher highs forming on Matic. We have had, it looks like it could be a swing failure here, but the price could continue to go up for a new higher high. That would be amazing. I'd love to see that. If this market turns bullish, I'm going to be very, very, very happy. Okay, I think all of us will. At the same time, this could be a failure right here to reach a new high. We could see price come down and pick up this order block that I've got waiting for me down here. So I'm not going to be taking a Matic trade at the moment. Not until I know for sure what market structure is doing. Alright, so we're going to look at, we've got TRX, we've got a request for fill, and we've got a request for dash. There's a small order block in the 2-hour chart. This down here? Yeah, there is definitely one down there. That's been the one that's been created, yeah. Think about this order block down here. If this is the one that you're talking about, it's already been mitigated by this massive secondary candle. It took a few order blocks out for a few coins I've seen. It's already been mitigated in my view. Having said that, it is an order block. And I'd probably take the whole thing to be honest. It is an order block and we could see a bigger reaction off this one. Definitely. Once I figure out where the market's going, that could be definitely something I'll look at. And you could take a long from there. With your stop at the swing low and your highs at the swing high, or the previous high, you can get a nice 4.82 risk to reward. Risk to reward. Alright, so there's a request for TRX over on Twitch. Let's take a look at that. And then after that we'll look at fill, and then we'll look at dash. TRX, do I have that in here? Let's add it. Good old Tron. I do have it. Where are you? There you are. Alright, Tronny. First thing I can see on Tron that gets my attention is the fact that we have this trend line forming, or have formed. Okay, so remember what I say about trend lines. Trend lines mean we have stops. Weird. OBS that I was disconnected, but apparently I'm back. Weird. Alright, so when trend lines form, we have stops coming in all the way down here and there. So bear that in mind. Those stops are going to get taken. They're going to get taken out. When I mean by they're going to get taken out, the price is going to come and take them, and it's going to go higher. I am liking this market structure on Tron. What have we had over the 4 hours? Higher highs and higher lows, but then a higher high and a lower low. And here it looks like we might be getting another lower high and possibly another lower low after that. Now, because this structure up here is such a big high, and this structure is probably, I don't think it's going to make it all the way up there. We could see the price drop all the way back down and pick up the lower lows from there. But, having said that, for Tron, we've broken through the previous bearish order block. Has it mitigated? It's gone now. That's interesting. Man, Tron looks weird. Your short was triggered last night. Is it still valid? I hope you had a very high stop loss. Yeah, I would have taken a short here for sure as well. It looks like short territory. Man, this market is crazy today. So you're still in, you had a nice high stop loss. Let's have a look where you did that. So your short was probably in there with a nice big stop. The thing is about this, you don't know how high you can put your stop loss. Oh, interesting thing though, interestingly, we have broken the market structure right there. That is fantastic. Ah, Tron, welcome to the party. Yeah, equal highs. So what does that mean? We've got stops sitting up here now for everyone who went short. Fantastic. Look, I mean, I wouldn't mind going long on this, honestly. Where can we go long? Not saying that you don't have a valid trade there going short. It looks to me like it's going to turn around, and it looks to me like it's going to probably, when it does turn around, I'd take a gander that when it does turn around, it's going to come and take all these stops down here. So your short trade might be exactly correct. The market structure looks bullish as hell at the moment, though. Only way I would get in on a short at this point would be if the market structure does turn around and show me that it's actually bearish. Then I might consider a short. And if I do, where would I look for a retracement to? Use my fib tool, bottom to the top. I'd be looking right about here at the 60% mark for a turnaround. And let's see if there's any confluent markers. We've got at this particular zone, at the 60% mark, we've got a previous high, which becomes resistance, and we've got resistance here and here. So this is confluent to be a resistance zone. We have an order block over here, bearish order block, that we have come into once and twice, so it now becomes a breaker block as well as an order block. So this is ticking 3 boxes for me. If the price does make it down here, my money is going to be going right here. This looks like a fantastic place to get a minimum 7.67 risk to reward. Fantastic. And that'll be take profit 1, take profit 2, well, probably to there, take profit 2. If that does happen. If that does happen. Now, good luck in that short, buddy. I hope it works out. It's definitely, I can definitely see why you took it. And it's definitely a trade I would have considered. So it's not a bad trade at all. I don't know if it's going to work out this time, because that structure that's come in is heavily bullish. It's funny that Tron was at the top of its structure when Bitcoin was down here diddy-daddling in like it's the lower part of its structure. So that would have been one thing for me that would have told me maybe not to go in the short. The fact that we were up here at the top of the structure while Bitcoin was looking kind of bullish here at the bottom of its structure, I think we're going to see higher prices here for Tron. And once it all comes in that Tron is at the top of its structure and then Bitcoin is looking a bit bearish, then that's probably when I would stop in for a short here. But I can see why you did that. I can see why you did that. And you still might be correct. So the other request was FIL and Dash. So we'll do FIL next. I don't think I've got it in TradingView at the moment. Alright, FIL. Look, it's a similar market structure that we're seeing with Bitcoin, except for FIL, they're all similar but different. That's what I love about trading. If you can't tell, it gets me excited. We have an order block here that became a breaker block once the price came through it. And this was an unmitigated breaker block. Okay, and it's been hit, and it got hit pretty hard, pretty much taken out. Doesn't mean it's completely gone. Just means liquidity was taken out. But when the price came back down into this breaker block, liquidity must have been enough to at least put the price up. But we don't have a big enough reaction here to have a higher high. So the price is going to come down and retest this order block again. And I don't think there'll be enough liquidity in this time to hold it. Okay, I think for FIL at least, we're going to see prices come down to here. And this might be a very good spot to take a long. It meets a lot of requirements. It's in the bottom half of the structure. Bottom half of this structure. If we take, you've seen me do a ruler before. If we take a ruler from the top to the bottom, I always love to do this. Okay. When I trade, I'm always looking for a discount. And when I say discount, if I'm doing a short, I want a discount with the price being at the top. If I'm taking a long, I want a discount with the price being down the bottom. And this structure down here is all in the bottom part of the structure, perfect for a long. Perfect for a long. So this would be where I would take it next. Only because I haven't seen the big reaction happen off this area here. It looks like we're going to get equal highs. And we've had equal lows here. What does that mean? It means we've got stops sitting right there, and we've got stops sitting down here. So for me, it looks like smart money is going to come in take the stops down here, and then take the stops up there. It could be the other way around. Smart money could come up here, take these stops. And if that happens, if smart money comes up, takes these stops, and the candle moves up here, I'd be looking for a short, probably at the top. Looks like a great place to take a short there. Why do I like that area? Because we've got, it's the top, okay? We've had a lower high form here. We've had a higher high form here, and then a lower high form there with a lower low. It looks like the price, if it does go up that high, it looks like it's not going to reach up here at all. So you could target just above there at your stop loss. You could, just to make sure, you could target the top of the structure, just to be completely sure, and you could target down there for a 3 to 1. If you want a better entry, you can bring your stop loss down. I reckon about there, just in case, and you can get an even better risk to reward by moving your entry price up, risking a non-entry, but increasing your risk to reward. I do that a lot. I don't need to be in every trade, so I like to get the best possible entry that I can. That's what I like to do. And now you could go a step further. You could bring it down to here, giving you a 10, a risk to reward of 10, which is amazing. It's fantastic. Personally, I'd probably look at a trade like this, reducing my risk to reward a little bit, but giving me a slightly bigger stop loss here. Now for Dash, let's have a look at Dash. Where's Dash in terms of market strength? Where are we looking at for Dash? Be careful if you're trading Dash, okay? Be careful. We've only got $10 million in trading volume today. It's not a highly traded coin. Why is this something we should look at? If you've got a big position on Dash, if you're trading in the thousands of dollars, you might find you can't get your exit out in time. There's just not enough liquidity there for you to exit. And you may find, even though your trade was successful and your trade was on paper giving you money, by the time you've sold all of your position, you may actually not have made any money at all. And likewise, if you're trying to get out of your trade, there may not be enough takers to get you out, and you may end up losing more money. So be wary. Now, at this point here, we've broken a structure on Dash right here. So that's a bullish signal. That's a very big bullish signal. We've broken structure. Does that mean we go long right now? No, it does not mean we go long right now. Okay, we've broken structure. We can expect a retracement back down to the previous resistance. Okay, and we can look for a long. Where would I look for a long? Key areas. We take our fib. We look from the bottom to the top. I'll be looking for a long area in the 60% zone. Now, you can see here, we've got an order block sitting right here. And funnily enough, this is the order block that gave the energy for the price to move so high. This was the order block that fed the last movement. It's been hit once, twice, 3 times in small successive hits. And from there, the price flew out, creating a new higher high. So if I'm taking a long on this, I probably want to target here. That looks fantastic. If the price, there's 2 things that could happen, right? If price comes back down, well, there's a lot of things that could happen, but one of the things that could happen, if price comes down and diddle daddies around in here for a little while, has a bit of a reaction, and comes back down, you can cancel your long trade. You can take your profits, if it's starting to come down, because if it does go down, it's probably going to go straight through and hit the bottom. So just be wary of that on this type of trade. But you could find that by getting in on your trade right here, putting a long here, you could find that you get new high highs. I'm not taking a trade on Dash. The market cap, it's not the market cap, the trading volume there is just not there for me today. It's not there. So look guys, I hope you've enjoyed the stream today. Sorry about the disconnection that happened before. Don't know why we disconnected, but we did. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys more content like this, where I can talk about some of the lessons that I've learned along the way, and some of the ways that you can become a better trader just with the resources that you currently have available to you. Now, if you have any questions, of course, feel free to email me. And if you are interested in joining up with my trading platform with my fellow coaches. Details are in my my description, and the details are also in my what's it called, my profile, my TradingView profile. There's a link there that you can follow. Otherwise, guys, have a great day. Good luck with your trades today and tomorrow. When I figure out which way the market's going, and I'm pretty confident, I'm going to get back on, do another stream, and show you some of the setups that I have in mind. And other than that, see you later, guys.